This is Christian Ackerman with the Fast Coast Film Academy and the Fast Coast Productions. I'm here again at my home office tonight. The plan was earlier this month to film some Grid Street series stuff, but life got in the way, and it's okay. And we're right now, my wife and I are like in the process of moving her business to a new location, so that took a little bit of time, and it's going actually really well. It just, I planned and decided not to do too much. I talked to her and I planned we'll just see how it goes, play it by ear. So still, even though we're at the end of the month now, only a few days left, I may still do Grid Street. Who knows? We'll see. But it most likely will be during February, and also during February I am doing that Cinema Media 101 through the Bitterroot College, and you can register for classes still for that, and all the information is on their website. I also have a direct link on my website at fastcoastproductions.com, and I also put up some links on social media, on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. So you can register for classes there, and it'll be pretty cool. But right now I'm waiting for this render or sharing of a 3D, just a simple camera move. I have this like 3D animator that can animate like a flat set or a still shot of a set that I just took so I can have for a background later on, and then I added a 3D element or 3D movement to the space. I created a virtual set of space out of a real set and a little bit of set extension. And so that's what I'm waiting to render on, and it's taken forever just because there's so many layers in this, so I didn't quite think this through. Actually, I think it's funny, you work on these layers and these special effects on your film, which this film again I'm working on late at night is SPACELOCK. So I decided I'll do a vlog or a midnight real raw vlog about SPACELOCK edit, so people can see that I'm still working on it, and I think it's good to know it's kind of like a progress bar. Like I'll check in every once in a while. It'll be like almost like an update on what I'm doing. And so what I'm designing is kind of like what you see in the teaser trailer or the trailer of SPACELOCK. You get to see the empty rooms of this spacecraft called the Odyssey, and the crew is nowhere to be found. And you see like control area, and you see a corridor or a hallway down to the middle of nowhere, and so you see these like empty vast space. And so I'm creating basically all the rooms, the empty rooms in the hallway, so you can see them empty. And also it lays out kind of I'm planning on laying out kind of it's almost like that POV, like fly on the wall, like, or ghost out-of-body experience tour of the spaceship before the Barnabas crew arrives to answer this SOS call. And then they're going to arrive, and there's going to be some fun that's going to happen. And then our protagonist, played by Will Ponder, and his name's Ben in this, Ben Ashley, decides to go on and find his crew and save them, do the right thing, and go try to see what's going on. And it's kind of like, finds out it's pretty messed up. And so what I'm doing is I'm just establishing a little bit of geography. I still want the audience to be confused where things are, so anything can happen, but still I want them to kind of have an idea. Like when the first crew boards the ship, then when our protagonist comes on after, he kind of can follow in their footsteps, and we know he's kind of like passing through some of the places that we give hints to where they are on the ship, that he's kind of passing through and getting closer or whatnot, or at least we think he is. So I'm doing that, and then after I kind of build this, and then I think the next plan, it could change though. Next plan is to go back and work on all the shots and sequences that we did all these actually practical effects, or the only thing is sometimes they're on green screen or on just we built a partial set, and then we shot it and with our actors in like makeup or in prosthetics, or even just like some kind of costume mask, and then also puppets and stuff like that. So we're going like the old school route, even if it looks kind of like it's an effect, and you're like, oh, that looks fake. If it looks gross and fun or cool, then it'll stay in the movie. And that's the hard part about making movies with no budget. You get some things like right on when you're filming, and then sometimes you get it, or they look great, and then you bring them in, and then they just don't work when you're editing, and you're kind of like stuck with it, and you have that decision to leave it in for the story purpose, so just so the audience can go on, or sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this really helping the story? Do I really need this? And that's kind of what I've been doing a lot in this edit. So also on top of making it flow with all the, like I said in the last vlog, make it work story-wise, with all the changes that have been made, and also some of the changes that were out of my control that were made, and trying to make those all work. So I like those kind of challenges. It's pretty cool. But this one, I do get a little bummed out when something's not working, or it looks so bad, like it just looks so cheesy, that I'm just like, I don't mind if it like, it's fake, but if it looks cool, and it's like bogus, but it looks cool and it's fun to watch, then and it doesn't like detour from the story too much, then I'll leave it in. But at the end of the day, I just want it all to work. So that's the hardest part. So, and then once you get the shots figured out, sometimes you can work on like shots, like layers and layers and animation and all this stuff for this one shot, and then I watch the whole cut of the movie on my big screen right here, and I'll watch the whole cut all the way through, and then I find out like, oh, I don't need this sequence, and I'll cut it all out, and that I spent so long, hours working on it. And even though I have a game plan, even though I've been like, it was supposed to go this way with the story, I find out like, I only need a few seconds of it or something like that, and you've been working hours on it. Or sometimes you work hours on a sequence and it doesn't look right, and then you try this one little change and it fixes it all like in a second, and you're like, oh, cool. And then you only see it for a few seconds in the movie, or like 10 seconds if it's like some kind of like shot that helps our character progress through the story. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to like, it's a balance, a yin and the yang, of like that technical know-how, and then the artist part, and then the rhythm of the cuts to help tell that story. So right now it's still pretty choppy. When I say choppy, it's just sometimes it doesn't flow, and sometimes it does, but then it'll flow and it feels a little jarring, like it's not working. So I'm also working on that kind of stuff right now tonight, but it's been going well, and I can't wait to play around with these shots, put them in there, and it's kind of fun. You start to see the movie starts to be less green screen, or less, sometimes I'll be directing the actors on set, so we'll have audio going, and they'll be doing their dialogue, and then in between their dialogue, I'll say, "Good job, say that line again," and then they'll say that line again, or I'll say, "Okay, now go to your right, or go to your left," or whatever, and I'll tell them, and it's kind of cool. And then I'm taking out that audio of me directing them, and it's starting to just be them, and it's starting to sound cool, and adding a little bit of sound effects too along the way as I'm working. So it's pretty cool, even though I'm probably going to go back through and do another sound mix. That's what we did on Scarlet. We got it all done, and then we went back through a sound mix, and our guys, BL Fisher, totally fixed it up, Scarlet, and made a awesome mix for us. And then also he made our him and his pal made our soundtrack for SPACELOCK. Actually just had the whole thing whipped up so I could start throwing things in there. So it's pretty cool. So this movie, it's like a collaboration of work. And so now I'm back on track and editing these animated scenes, 3D animation. It's really cool. The 3D plugin that comes in with Final Cut Pro is so I don't have to leave Final Cut Pro. I can do some 3D animation because I was experimenting with motion. I also was looking at After Effects, and the one thing is I could start learning After Effects for this project, but it would slow me down a little bit because I'm learning. So I like to use programs like on smaller things. So I might do an After Effects thing, maybe I want to create laser fire or some kind of 3D element, something. Try something. But for what I'm doing in here, I don't need After Effects because I have a 3D plugin by Pixel Film Studios, and it's awesome. It's so cool. You can work, and I can also do the virtual 3D camera, like move around sets and stuff. So it works really well. And based on how we filmed the movie and designed the film, I kind of would think ahead of be my own effects supervisor and plan shots accordingly. So so far it's been working out pretty well. So I'm pretty stoked. Maybe I'll give you a little sneak peek of what I've been working on. I'm gonna get back working for a little bit, and then I have a long day tomorrow because we're moving my wife's salon. So see, life happens while you're in the edit room working away. So yep, wish me luck. And this is, I guess, the raw vlog from the editor, Christian Ackerman, with Fast Coast Productions and the Fast Coast Film Academy. I hope to see you in the movies. You see why it's called filmmaking. It doesn't just work this way. Learn this here. This thing might be up your alley. So if you're interested in that, it'll be fun.